is in Midland, Texas, starting this hour off. Hey, Mark, how are you?
Doing all right. How you guys?
Good, man. What's up?
So, new listener, first-time caller, no idea what I'm doing, no clue about the baby steps, but just over the last couple of days, what I've kind of started to do is I've dropped my 401k. I have about 130,000 in total debt. That includes 2 vehicles, credit card, and a home.
Mm-hmm.
I was without work due to COVID for 6 months. So we tapped into the reserves that we had, and along with the 401k that we had, just to keep up with bills.
Mm-hmm. So you cashed out your 401k?
Right now, I did. I took advantage of the COVID relief on that.
Yeah. How much was that?
We were about 70,000 total that we had in savings at that point.
And that's all gone?
Not all of it. I've got 15 left.
Mm-hmm.
I have a truck that I owe 2 on.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And like I was saying, I dropped my 401k to zero. My company does a 10% match, regardless of what, if I put in 6, they'll still match me at 10. So I figured I can catch up on that.
Yeah. Man, I'm sorry. You've had a hellacious year. Are you back to work?
Yeah, just recently started back to work.
Good. So you owe 2 on the truck, and how much on the other debts? You said a total of 130.
2 on the truck. Yeah, 2 on the truck, 4 on the credit card. My wife's vehicle, 8, and then 115 on a home mortgage, which is actually being rented out at the moment, and I'm kind of break even on that.
Why is it being rented?
I no longer live in that area.
Oh, okay. What's it worth?
And 170.
Good. Okay. Well, I'm honored to have you as a new listener, sir. What do you make now that you're back to work?
If I stay at my current rate by a 12-month period after taxes and everything, it'd be a little over 81.
Okay, good for you.
And are you guys renting right now, Mark, where you're at, or do you own?
No, we actually own a piece of property, and we live in my wife's trailer, which is also paid for, older trailer. Okay. So that alone kind of makes me nervous to do anything with what we have saved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Just because it being an older trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the point of the baby steps, Mark, it really is this plan to get you guys, you and your wife, on the same page, being intentional with where your money's going, getting you in a place where you have an extremely solid financial foundation under you. So that means no debt, you have an emergency fund in place, and you start looking towards the future. So a couple of things. I mean, you could start, you have that $15K that when you guys pulled that 401k, that what you have left, that I would drop that to 1,000, and I would start working my way paying off your debt using the debt snowball, which is the smallest to the largest. And so paying off,
which oddly enough will pay off all your debt except your house.
Right.
That's 14. And that leaves you $1,000, which is scary as crap, but you're going to be on a budget to be able to attack from there. I'd put the house on the market.
Well, that's what I was going to say too, is selling the house, and you can take that equity.
I actually attempted to sell it. The lady in there didn't want to get out. She wanted to re-sign the lease, so I let her because of the times.
How long is the lease up, or when is the lease up? Is it a 12-month?
Yes, it's a 12-month lease. She re-signed this last spring. Right, as everything was kind of...
last spring.
So a few more months is left then.
Yeah, you put it on the market when the lease is up.
Yeah.
Because that's $70,000, then you take that money. See, you're out of debt except this mortgage, and she's paying the rent right now, okay? So day one, with no truck payment, no credit card payment, no car payment, you take all your money and squeeze it out of your budget, and you add it to that $1,000 account. You're going to have $10,000 saved up real fast in your emergency fund.
And then getting back to that investing, Mark.
Yeah, and then you can start back investing, and when you sell that other house, I would use that as a down payment and build a house on this land that you're living on, or buy another property and sell the land and the trailer, one of the two. But I would get in a permanent home, like you said. Living in an old trailer's got all kinds of downside to it. But by June, I'm in a permanent home with the equity from the sale of that other house. I'm debt-free with an emergency fund, and I'm investing again.
Okay, that was a lot, Mark. Hold on. Let's we just throw it. Okay, when Mark gets off the phone from this call,
Yeah.
what's the very first thing you would do immediately?
I would sit down and I would go to the computer or my phone, and I would download the I'm going to give you Ramsey Plus for a year. Okay? So I want you to jump into Ramsey Plus, and I want you to do your budget on every dollar, the very first thing. And then I want you to do your budget again without any truck payment, car payment, or credit card payment, so you can see what I'm talking about. Because if you take those numbers and add them together and squeeze every other dollar out that you can out of your budget, you're going to see that $1,000 in your account is not going to be that way for very long. But I'm going to write the checks today and be debt-free but the house, and no payments. Then I'm going to be in attack mode from this point forward. Now, you got to allocate for Christmas in the budget. You got to make sure stuff's done in your budget. It's a real-world budget. This is freaking December. Last time I noticed, that's when Christmas is. So you got to do this stuff. But then you say, all right, with no truck payment, no car payment, no credit card payment in January, I'm going to put $4,000 in this account. The next month, I'm going to put $3,000 or $4,000 or whatever it is. And you're going to be able to see that you can do that by doing the budget. The second thing is I'm going to write the checks and be done with those debts. The third thing is I'm going to pull that lease out and go ahead and start talking to that tenant, let her know to look for a place, because we're going to put the house on the market when the lease is up, period. Start talking to a real estate agent in that area and get them ready so that day one that you're able to put that thing on the market, put it on the market. Then when it sells, I'm taking the money from that and buying a house over where you are, or building a house on the land, whatever your plan is over there on that side. Oh, by the way, when you have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses saved, which in your world is about $20,000, and you don't have any payments at all, you're in a really good place to restart that 401k and get that match, and you'll be able to rebuild your retirement that you drained. Oh, by the way, you're going to have to pay taxes on that money. You don't have payment, you don't have a penalty, but you got taxes on $70,000, so you have a $15,000 tax bill coming up in April you got to get ready for. That's also something they have to consider. That may have to come out of the 70 from the sale of that house. Something like that in there. But all we're doing here is just working you right down it. Now, we're going to give you Ramsey Plus, which puts you through Financial Peace University, puts you in the Every Dollar Budgeting app, gets you community and coaches there that you can ask questions from. We're going to give you everything as a gift because you've had a horrible year. We want you to get a reset right now, Mark. Time for you to reset. Ready, set, go. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.